I just got back from a 12-night Norwegian Fjords cruise with P&O, and here's everything we got up to, so you know exactly what to expect if you're going on the Aurora ship. So we are halfway through the cruise, and we are currently at the top of Norway. We are the most northernest part of Norway that we're going to go to, and we are currently at our second stop. So this is Hammerfest. It was a really, really small town, and it was actually across the water. So to get to it, we had to come off the cruise ship and walk. I think the walk was about half an hour altogether, but it was really cute. It was really picturesque, and it did start snowing, so I feel like being in the top of Norway, this was just absolutely perfect. But the only thing is, it was about 3 degrees, but because of the wind it felt like -4. But we were not complaining because we are over the Arctic Circle, so we have to expect a little bit of cold and a little bit of snow. Now, there wasn't a lot to do in Hammerfest. They had a really cute sign here, a few quite small museums, and we actually arrived here on a Sunday and everything was more or less closed. I think there was one cafe open the whole time we was here, but in saying that, we made the most out of this beautiful little town. One of the main attractions was their church, and it was really, really cute. So we had a little mooch around in there. This was free. And one thing you can do in Hammerfest is walk up the hill to the top of that hill over there. Now, on a day that it wasn't snowing and there wasn't ice on the floor, we probably would have done it, but we got about 10 steps up and had to turn around and go back because it was so slippy. If you're not wearing the right shoes, it's not going to work. Some of the cafes might have been closed here, but all of the gift shops were open. So of course, you have to go and have a little mooch. Now, they did have a polar bear museum, which was really, really interesting. In there, they kind of talked a little bit about the history of polar bears up in Norway. And this was also free of charge. You just basically walk in and walk around. It is very small, but it is nice to go have a look. They also had a World War II museum, which was really interesting. If you are going to Hammerfest, I would highly, highly recommend you go and see the museum. It's a lot bigger than the polar bear museum, and there's a lot more to see. I think entry to that was about £15 each. Now, we were super lucky because there was actually a performance happening in Hammerfest. It was basically an orchestra that travels up and down Norway, so it just happens to fall on the day that we were there. We then made the walk back to the ship, and it was extra cold because the wind was extra strong. But that doesn't matter because we had the most amazing meal, and I honestly will not stop raving about the service here. The waiters and the staff were just so incredible. We ended the day watching a show while we set sail through the fjords, going to our next stop tomorrow, which is Alta. And lucky for us, the seas were a lot calmer. I will see you again tomorrow.